Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. And affectionately on my left, our aging rocker, Emmett. And we're doing a one-on-one. And as you can see through the magic of green screen, we are on the set of Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Yep, indeed. Yep.
And this is going to be fun. Diana Ross is in the middle there. And you want to start us off?
Heavenly Father, bless our food and our drink and our time together in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Yep, I'm in agreement. And, wow. This is about as close to a Diana Ross concert as I'm ever going to get.
I know.
So,
I'm not really familiar with their work. I heard about them in the 70s and I think early 80s, but I'm not really familiar.
They go back into the 60s, I believe.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, their history pretty much, well, most people know about the history of this group here.
I'm afraid I don't, I might have heard them on the bus, back in 1980 when I was in the school bus. The bus teacher sometimes would play Motown, but, and I might have heard them on TV in the 70s or 80s or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay, I'll get to it in a second.
That would be interesting,
Enjoy your sandwich.
Oh, yeah, thanks. The dryer.
It's just nice to have real food on the show.
Oh, yeah. It is. Hello. It's the spinning dryer. The spinning dryer. Yep. That's what I do at home, too. I change all the words. Oh, yeah. I really do.
I really like this song.
Oh, it's a wonderful song.
It's not a part of the Motown sound.
Right, I know that.
I'll play it all the way through. Now, getting back to Diana Ross and the Supremes, there was a record producer, and I think in the late 50s, Berry Gordy was his name, and he had a record company called Hitstown USA, which eventually became known as Motown. Not Hitstown, Hitsville. It was called Hitsville USA, and I think it originated in, oh gosh, my history is a little faulty on the history of this. I can't think of the town right now, but anyway, he produced a bunch of groups in that era, most primarily African American performers, like Stevie Wonder. Before he became Stevie Wonder, he was known as Little Stevie Wonder. Well, he was probably a teenager at that time. And of course, the Jackson 5. Michael Jackson was a little boy. And of course, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and the Temptations.
I've heard of the Temptations.
Four Tops.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they did a song called Bernadette. You recognize?
Not really.
Short version. That's a song called Bernadette by Four Tops. And they just had a lot of other groups that came in there, and it was good for African American performers in that time period to get a chance to.
The 60s and 70s,
Yeah, especially the early 60s and so on. And of course, Ed Sullivan was very instrumental too.
Good.
With his show helping, featuring African American acts, James Brown, and a bunch of other performers of that era. And it's March now, but February is Black History Month. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I did vaguely. Yeah, I did.
So we can, even though it's not Black History Month anymore, it's kind of cool to.
Oh yes, indeed.
Let me have one of those napkins. I want to put these pickles underneath. These pickles here. They get a little moist. So, and I like pickles.
Yeah, they're all right.
You ever see that episode on the Andy Griffith Show when Aunt B was making pickles?
No, I never watched the Andy Griffith Show.
And it was the pickles tasted bad, but they didn't want to hurt her feelings, so she kept making barrels of pickles. And well, you had to see the episode.
Interesting.
But getting back to this here, it's pretty cool, and that's a beautiful backdrop.
Oh, it is.
Now, this is, of course, Diana Ross and the Supremes when they were in their heyday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, Diana Ross went on to become a solo singer, and she did some wonderful songs and still does wonderful songs. In fact, she was just on the Grammys a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw that Grammys or not.
No, I didn't. I saw the Oscar Awards, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the Oscars in a moment. But as far as the Grammy Awards or Music Awards, yeah, she came out toward the end, and she sounded great. And it was cool because her grandson introduced her. She has, well, you know, she's I think in her 70s now, so has grandchildren. So one of her grandchildren got the honor of introducing his grandmother, and he must have been so proud. My grandmother, Diana Ross. And
Yeah,
she came
definitely.
out, and she looked just as elegant as always.
Wonderful.
I don't know the name of the song that she sang, but it sounded really good.
Interesting.
And she had the whole house quiet, just singing. Not singing, listening to her sing. But let's have some fun. Here's some of her songs here. If I can remember how to do it.
I've heard that one.
And it just pretty much just repeats that over and over.
Yep.
Or like, you just keep me hanging on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that on the
I
Easy
think it's
Listening
called Baby
station.
Baby, I think is the name of
Yeah,
the
I
song.
heard that an instrumental on the Easy Listening station.
They
Yeah.
play their music on a lot on the Easy Listening. And then there was another song that was something like this, if I can remember it. You ever heard that song?
No, I never
I
have.
think it's called Get Out of My Life.
Huh.
Well, but it went something like that there. I mean, if I practiced those, I could probably do them.
Huh.
So I'm just picking them off the top of my head.
yeah.
And then there were some other really cool songs that she did. And of course, a lot of those songs that she sang are not really piano songs, so I don't know if I'd be able to really repeat them.
Yeah.
But she left a great legacy. Or,
Oh, yeah.
You know, music. In fact, I would say it's a safe assumption that Diana Ross was probably the #1 performer of that whole Motown era. And that's not to take away from Smokey Robinson and all the rest of them, Michael Jackson and so on, but I think she was probably the dominant.
Yeah. You know, I never considered Michael Jackson a Motown artist. I've heard Motown before. I never.
Well, you know, he was with the Jackson 5 when he was a kid, so
That's a good point.
That puts him into the Motown.
Yeah, in 1980, the bus driver would, drive around, and he was in Tucson, Arizona. She would play Motown. She liked Motown.
Yeah, that was the thing
all
about the Motown sound was it appealed to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what your nationality was. And
Oh, yeah.
on, it just had an appeal.
Yeah. The last time I heard Motown really on a regular basis, there used to be a wonderful restaurant in the year 2005, 2006. I think at least 2006. It was called Fat Cat.
Okay.
That was down on Brooks, across from the mall. They had wonderful soul food. It was a soul food restaurant. And a lot of Cajun cooking. They had, Cajun sausage, or I don't know, sausage with spices. I don't know how to even pronounce it. It's a French name. And, you know, they had Motown in the background. But the best soul food, I mean, after I would eat there, I felt like $1 million. Unfortunately, it closed down after a year. I was very disappointed because it was delicious food. It reopened up a few years later as Fat Cat Pasta and Pizzeria, which was very good. It was an Italian theme, and it had a buffet. I loved that. You could get wine too, like at the other one. But that closed down too. It was just across, you know, from the Montana Club. And I was very disappointed that those two closed down. I don't think, I gotta check, does Fat Cat even have, I think they have a casino, but I don't even know if they reopened a restaurant after all these years. But I was disappointed. I hope they reopen a restaurant. I really liked it, you know. But that's the last time I heard Motown, really. Kind of even surprised that they don't have a Motown station on the Music Choice channels that I listen to on Charter. I'm kind of surprised. Yep. They have a rap channel, but I don't like rap or hip hop.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do not like rap at all or hip hop. No, I don't like the lyrics and what they talk about. That's why, you know. But Motown, I don't mind. I don't really love Motown, but it's alright, you know. My girl, yep. Not my girl, yep.
Something like that. But I think rap is just an acquired taste. I understand it as far as, you know, their context and why they're doing it. Like when they're talking about the inner cities and whatever. It may not be my forte, but I do understand it. But it's just an acquired taste to me.
Actually, when we had a party about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, maybe 10 years or something. Someone was rapping here and, you know, letting us just do our own rap stuff because they had a rap kind of thing. And I was actually able to rap pretty well about the 5th Street apartment I was in, or that, you know, or even going down Compton. But I was rapping against the gang violence, against the violence, not rooting for it. A lot of the rap seems to glorify the gang violence, and that's wrong. Glorify that lifestyle when they should be condemning it, you know. You know, and gets people into that gang lifestyle, thinking this is cool. My artists do it. I want to do the drive-bys. That's horrible. Or, you know, talking about vile lyrics I can't repeat. It's like, this is not right. You know.
But it, you know, not to defend it, but it just goes back to, you know, these are people that were raised in those rough neighborhoods.
Yep.
Inner cities, they call it. And so I can understand it, even if I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't it necessarily. They're talking about how tough it is in that
world,
and, you know, the relationship between black and white people maybe, or
definitely
the police or something.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I guess it would be harder for you and I because we didn't like grow up in that, in the hood they call it. You know.
Yeah. I just don't want it glorified. You know. I want it condemned. You know, because joining a gang, that's no good. I mean, I've seen.
But you know why people do that. You know, it's not like they wake up and say, "Oh, I want to be in a gang."
Yeah.
It's just the circumstance, the world they're in. And again, I'm not necessarily attacking them or whatever. It's just I have a kind of a small sympathy. I understand. It may not be right, but I understand it. So just food for thought.
Oh yeah. I've seen Boys in the Hood, and there was even another one.
Yeah, I know that. Well, that was a Hollywood movie. I know they kind of probably embellished that a little bit so that people.
American History X, I think it was called. I've seen American History X. That was a brutal film.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
That was about a neo-Nazi white supremacist. There was a lot of fighting between gangs, and he ended up in prison, and a lot of stuff about racism and against racism, and he learned not to be a racist, but in the hardest way. It was a brutal film, mature rating, but you know, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have a pickle.
Yeah. No thanks. Yeah.
I'm going to eat them.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just glad I don't live in a big city anymore. I'm grateful I got to live.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I moved to Missoula because I got tired of the big city.
Oh, they're so dangerous.
Well, I know Missoula has its share of it too, but
Oh, it does. Not
but in
nearly.
big cities, yeah, it can be very. It's like it can be very scary
Yeah, yeah.
going to the store.
Yeah.
Wondering if you're gonna get mugged or shot, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And stuff like that. When I was in New York, staying with my auntie, and then she would send me to the store, I would always think that every time I walked out that door, I would always say to myself, "Boy, I wonder if I'm gonna get shot."
Mm-hmm.
Just going to the store
Yeah.
to get some fish for my auntie or something like that. I always wondered about that. And I wish I could have got rich enough to get them out of the projects, you know.
Yeah. Even if I lived back in Tucson, I would plan my groceries and everything. I'd take a cab or get someone from church to help me, and I'd be a shut-in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live like that. At least I can walk down the street here without getting killed. I've been attacked here in Missoula occasionally, but it's not like every day, you know.
Oh, yeah. Let me have some more of that napkin there.
Mm.
This is the way a cafe should be, but it's food, you know.
Yeah.
It's a cafe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've had beer battered pickles over like at Sean Kelly's. That was years ago. That I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's covered in beer and has been called beer battered pickles. I thought I said try one. A couple. They were pretty good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you know, St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it, of course. I love Irish music. Oh yeah, I love Irish music. Oh yeah, arr matey, guzzle the beer and the whiskey, arr matey, you know. Sean Kelly's used to, like 10 years ago or more, they used to have beer gardens in the front, and they used to have live Irish performers, and you know, a buffet spread, you know, for $10 of Irish stuff, and it was wonderful. It was like heaven.
I'm gonna redeem myself.
Yep.
I didn't play that properly.
And just even a whole bunch of Irish punk bands playing, you know, like in the record, you know, they would put on a record or something or a tape, and
Yeah.
great. I just loved it, you know. Heated tents so you could go into the beer garden tents, you know, and get some beer. Because it was cold, you know. If there's one country I would want to visit, it'd be Ireland, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's called Coming Through the Rye.
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be performing on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Paddy Creek Market invited me to play for the entire weekend for St. Patrick's
Oh,
Day.
cool.
So there might be a provision from the good Lord because I need the money.
Well, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. So I'll be looking forward to
Well,
that.
yeah, definitely.
But anyway, getting back to Diana Ross, I think she is like well into her 70s now.
Interesting.
And I don't know how many concerts she's doing these days now, but I know when she was at the Grammy Awards, she sounded so good, just like she always had. Kudos, you know, to my cousin always says kudos. I have a cousin in New York named Donna. She always says kudos, cuz. But anyway, Diana Ross, what a singer, what a talent.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my goodness, I mean, and she did some acting, you know. In fact, let me play this song here, see if you've heard of it. I'm sorry.
I've heard this, yes. Oh yeah. Do you remember when the way it was something or another? Do you know when there's something or something?
Yes,
Do
a
you?
movie
Yeah.
called Mahogany.
Oh
That's
yes.
the name of the song, actually. Do you know?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Mahogany.
yeah.
And Diana Ross was the prime performer in that movie, along with Billy D. Williams, African American, really handsome African American.
Yes.
actor. You may have seen him. The mustache, really handsome young man.
Don't really know. Yeah. Interesting. But do you know where? Yeah, I've heard that song. Oh yeah. No, definitely. Very nice song. It's all right. I'm sure I've heard it on the easy listening station somewhere many
yeah.
times. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It was quite the movie.
Interesting. Oh yeah, that song, yeah.
And they played that song like a zillion times in its heyday.
Oh yeah, they did.
And let's see if I can figure out some other Diana Ross songs. Or the Temptations, Four Tops.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Four Tops and the Temptations, here's a story that this was a true story that actually happened to me. I used to play at the Billings Hotel. Gosh, this must have been about almost 20 years ago by now. And the Temptations were in Billings. They were going through Billings on their way to a concert. And they happened to stop at the Billings Hotel where I was playing that night. So they came around the piano to listen to the music. And they wanted me to play a song. And what does Asaph do? I played Bernadette, which is by the Four Tops, by mistake. While the Temptations were around the piano. And after I finished the song, they looked at me and said, Asaph, that sounded really good, but you played the wrong song. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I said, sorry, guys. But I think they took it. They were good spirit about it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you know, all those groups pretty much sound the same in a sense.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they how can I put it? You know, there's like a front man, and they got the backup singers, and they're singing, and but they all had hits. And I couldn't say who's better, the Temptations or the Four Tops. That'd be like saying what's better, apples or oranges, you know? They were both. They just were unique. They all had their own little niche here. Just let me think of a Michael Jackson song of that era.
I like apple bread and orange bread, and I like apple pie. I've never been too keen on apple juice though. Orange juice I like.
I'll Be There.
Oh yes.
Pretty song. Yeah, Jackson 5, I'll Be There. And a lot of their stuff was so rhythmic, I don't think I'd be able to repeat it.
Oh yeah.
That one has a little melody, so I can do that one. But of course, I think Motown is since disbanded now. I think they were sold to a major record company or something.
You mean Motown Records? Yeah.
I don't think there's a Motown Records in the sense of what it was in its heyday anymore. But it doesn't matter because the legacy that Berry Gordy and Motown left. They left the world some great performers.
Oh yeah.
Of course, these performers are probably still performing today. Maybe they're not necessarily in their heyday anymore, but they're still, performing, and I think that's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
And some may even be retired, and some of them are gone now too. I think I think the lead singer of the Temptations is gone. I think most of the Four Tops are gone now. Because you remember that's a generational thing too, from the '60s, and it's 2019, so a lot of them are probably gone now.
Oh yeah.
But that was a wonderful era, and I just think it was good to have these African American groups have a chance. And Alan Freed, have you ever heard of him?
No, never have.
Well, before Dick Clark, you know who Dick Clark is.
Oh yeah.
Well, before Dick Clark, they had a guy named Alan Freed who used to be a DJ.
Yeah.
I think this was probably like in the mid-50s, maybe early 50s. And Alan Freed was also instrumental in helping a lot of African American groups at that time. He would play their music on his radio program when a lot of them were having trouble getting airtime. And Alan Freed would give them chances because he said, hey, this isn't about color. These people can sing. And he would play their songs on his radio program. He got a lot of heat for that, but he stood his ground. And of course, by the time Berry Gordy came out, he probably just cracked that door wide open. But like I stated, of all the groups, I would say Diana Ross is probably the most towering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's not, and of course Stevie Wonder is great, you know, and stuff like that. So.
Uh-huh.
But I doubt I'd be able to play any of his music because it's all rhythmic and you know, real good stuff. Like that Sir Duke. Do you remember Sir Duke? It went something like this.
Oh yes, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, something like that.
I've heard that.
Something like that. I don't know how to play that, but that was very rhythmic, that song, especially when it got to that middle part. Dun, da, 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 da.
It was alright. The song was alright.
It was rhythmic, you know. But Stevie Wonder, I think he was like a teenager when he first burst on the scene.
Huh. Oh yeah.
I think he was known as Little Stevie Wonder, and he used to play this harmonica, and he was. I mean, he kind of matured as he got older, obviously, and I think he was singing different types of songs from when he was like that kid, that little Stevie Wonder. But what a talent that Stevie has. He has, and you may know this song. I don't know if I can play any of his music here. I have to think about it. But anyway, that song I attempted to do just now is called Sir Duke. I'm just picking out something like that. And then there's this one here. I think is I Just Called to Say I Love You.
Oh yes. I've heard that many times, yes. And I've heard that on easy listening stations too. I think so, yeah. I think so. Because a lot of this that you're playing has been transferred to easy listening stations.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, and easy instrumentals.
That
Oh,
I
yeah,
Just
a lot
Called
of
to Say I Love You. That's a Stevie Wonder tune. And of course, Michael Jackson was a star in his own right too when he got older. But I still think that Diana Ross was the most towering of the Motown. I think, I think Michael Jackson was an entity that came out of Motown, but he just kind of went his own.
He did.
Own thing and did some great things too.
He did.
And of course, the Jackson 5. I used to watch that cartoon when I was a kid.
I didn't even know they had a cartoon about it.
Yeah, it was called the Jackson 5 cartoon. It was just this cute little cartoon that was out in the early 70s, if I recall.
Did the Jackson 5 star in it as the voiceovers?
Yeah, and it was kind of a cute little cartoon. It was hard to talk about what it was about, but you always heard them singing. They would sing in it, so that was kind of cool, you know. But yeah, they had a cartoon called the Jackson 5.
I did not know that. Because I remember they used to have Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, and it came on in the Saturday morning cartoons, the Jackson 5 at that time.
Amazing.
Yeah. And of course, I think Michael Jackson might have did some movies, didn't he, or something?
Didn't he do a movie called The Wiz or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was
I never saw it.
That was just the African American version of The Wizard of Oz. That's all it was. It was the same, Dorothy. Diana Ross was Dorothy, and Michael Jackson was the Scarecrow.
Oh yeah.
It was just an African American version.
Oh
that's
yeah.
all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But other than that, it was just like watching the
interesting
Judy Garland version.
Interesting.
That's all.
Oh yeah.
But and let's see, what other movies? Michael Jackson didn't do a lot of movies, I don't think.
Not that I can
Diana
remember.
Ross sure did a lot.
Oh yeah,
of movies,
yeah.
And stuff like that. But I'm just brain dead what to play.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Oh yeah. not to change the subject, but did you watch the Oscars this year?
I looked at that for like 2 minutes.
I was so disappointed. It was
and
the
I was
worst.
lit. I just, you know.
I can't blame you. It is the worst one I've ever seen. Because, you know, I love science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing it since 1983, you know, when they were trying to see if E.T. would win, because I loved E.T., and I wanted E.T. to win. Now, it did win 4 Oscars, but it didn't win Best Picture. Gandhi won Best Picture. And then afterwards, on that day, you know, the day after, you know, Sunday, Monday.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, all my friends at school were just really upset. My friend Michael and I were really talking about it, really upset E.T. didn't win. And my friend, you know, we were going to Jennifer,
You
came
mean
up.
E.T. was nominated in this last Oscars?
No, in 1983 Oscars.
Okay.
You see, I've been talking about, you know, how my friends and I from junior high were reacting to it. We were very disappointed
I see. Yeah, I see.
that Gandhi won and E.T. didn't. But then my friend, you know, came up, you know, and we were talking about it, and he saying, Gandhi, I can't believe Gandhi won when E.T. didn't. I get Gandhi, and we were all talking about, I can't believe this. I mean, I was happy it won 4 Oscars. And I always like to see, are my science fiction movies that I like going to be awarded for anything
Well, you
special
know, science
effects?
fiction, I think you can't really compare science fiction to like a true life story like Gandhi or something, you know, or Mother Teresa or something. You really can't.
Yeah,
I think
but
if you're gonna
if it's
have,
the better movie, if it's
well,
the better, I
that's
love
because you're
Gandhi
into science
too.
fiction, but I think that if you're gonna have a science fiction, it should be in a science fiction category.
Why can't they have a science fiction category at the Academy Awards or a comedy? They never nominate comedies either.
Not very often. But you know, I know you like science fiction. I like it, but in the spectrum of the whole thing,
Yeah.
it takes a small. It's like a backseat.
That's really
like you know, if you're gonna watch a true life story about Mother Teresa, I think most people would rather see. No, think about it. Mother Teresa.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
She did some
Yeah, she
great
did.
things as a missionary or a nun.
Oh yeah, I'm very much a
You know
fan
what
of
I'm
Mother
saying?
Teresa, very much so.
Yeah,
but if I thought it was a
that's
better
what I'm
movie,
saying,
you know.
I mean, if you're going to compare science fiction to like a Gandhi or something, I think that sci-fi is going to take a back seat.
But it always
Because
does
a
at
lot
the
of
Academy
people-
Awards. They're always so, and this was really true this year. They only nominated 1 science fiction movie. I think it maybe a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But the Han Solo movie, Star Wars story, did not win. And thing is, they wanted to make this show these movies that were nobody's ever heard of, like The Green Book or The Green something or another, and some other movies we've never heard of, politically correct and very artistic,
Yeah, well,
and how snobbish it was. And I knew it was going to be The Green Book because it was the most politically correct one there. And I got it because I knew they were going for political correctness and how much they loved each other's elitism. Those Academy Award people must think of themselves as the elite movie snobs and telling us, the regular people, what hoity-toity artistic movies to go see that nobody cares about. It drove me nuts. I mean,
Yeah, they may have a point, but
and,
No,
and
I
they have
think,
their elite parties and their elite wardrobes. It's like middle America cannot relate to the Academy Awards anymore.
Yeah,
I was
well,
furious this year. I may
think
never
if
watch
they-
them again.
I don't know much about that, but I think if they were to change the voting system and let the public vote,
Yes, I think that'd be great.
not the people at the Academy.
Yes, absolutely.
They ought to take a poll or something, you know, a
Oh, I
nationwide
agree.
poll, and let the audience that
Yeah.
pays the money vote who they think is the.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But
They always overlook comedies. I mean, at least can they have best comedy?
well, I suppose, you know.
Why do they always overlook comedies? Like
I don't
the
know.
Chevy Chase National Lampoon Vacation movies would have been fantastic for awarded for best comedy because they made me laugh. Or Airplane, but they never. It's always this.
Airplane was funny. It was
Oh, it was
silly,
so-
but it was fun.
it was
silly to me.
hilarious. I
I thought
loved
it
it.
was really funny myself. I have to admit, a little silly, but
Yeah.
you know, you can escape. You know, just have.
Oh
fun.
yeah. the Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom from last year didn't win any awards. It wasn't even nominated. The Meg, about the giant megalodon, that wasn't nominated for everything.
Yeah, but see, like I said, it's not I don't think it's the general audience that does the voting. I think it's like
not.
a bunch of directors.
It is, and they're so
motion
hoity-toity.
picture arts or whatever,
Yeah, and they're so hoity-toity about what they think would be wonderful and politically correct and elite as far as cinematography. Movies you and I have never heard of, we will never go see. That, oh man, and it's like nobody cares about this stuff, and nobody cares how much money you have or what Academy Award you were nominated for last year. Nobody in middle America, average people, will care. These people are so out of touch. And even some stuff I've literally never even heard of, and man, it drove me nuts. I may never watch the Academy Awards again after this, because it was just. I like the others in years past when they were nominated, like Jurassic Park movies, or even, actually, Close Encounters did win a few Oscars. Actually, it did. It was not only nominated, but it won a few. Star Wars won Best Picture in 1977.
Yeah.
And won many others. And, but at the same time, they're getting less and less, they're more and more away from science fiction, more and more into this.
Well, I think that political correctness may have something to do with it.
It does.
I noticed they're looking for diversity too, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
Like female directors.
Oh,
That's cool. And I think that whoever's in charge of the voting system, even though it may not be the general public, I think they're just going that route. They want to get that diversity thing going, and that's fine in and of itself.
Yeah, because the Green Book or the Green Stamp Book or something, the Green Book did talk about racism in the South. It was about a Jewish man and an African American man or something, or was it a homosexual down in the South going something about race relations, and I knew they would pick it, and they did. I knew. They're going to pick this because of political correctness. And, it's very much in tune with liberal themes. And I got it. I knew they were going to pick that.
Well, I understand that, but, like I stated, I just think that if they would let the public,
yes,
not the directors,
I agree,
like the motion picture, whatever. I don't know a lot about that, like I stated, but they should take a national poll, let the audience and the movie watchers
because
decide.
They're the ones that can decide. It's important to make. I'm not knocking the green.
And I'm not
whatever,
knocking that either.
Because I think it's important to have movies about race relations and interesting, good topics about that. And I think that's important. But it doesn't. I think it's important to show, but it doesn't make it necessarily the best picture just because it has that.
Yeah, I'll take some more of that secret ingredient.
All right. I just was very disappointed by the Academy Awards this year.
Well, I'm really happy. Change the subject. I'm really happy we can get some food on here for a change.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with me and eating.
Certainly.
I want to start doing stuff like this more often because this is a cafe. Even though we're eating at a Diana Ross concert. If you're at a real Diana Ross concert, you probably wouldn't be chowing down on a sandwich. You'd be busy watching her sing.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
But what a pretty lady.
Oh, yeah.
I think Diana Ross is a gorgeous lady.
Yeah.
She looks pretty good now for being older, but I have to admit, in her heyday, she was quite the looker. And I guess you want to be that if you want to be a lead singer,
Oh yeah,
a cutie pie in there, sell records, I'm sure they were using them looks of hers at the time to help sell them records.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they didn't walk up to her and say, "Hey, sweetie, we just want you to sing."
Yeah.
We want you to look pretty.
Yeah.
I'm sure that must have came up.
Oh yeah.
In the conversation of those years. But. My birth mom used to comb her hair like Diana Ross in the 60s. It was called, not this hairstyle, obviously, but there was a lot of African American women used to wear their hair pointed up. So it was called a beehive.
Did not know that, huh?
And my mother used to comb her hair like that.
Yeah.
Just a little history there.
Interesting.
Yeah, African American ladies were wearing their hair pointed up like that at one time. But
that's interesting.
Well, it was just a phase,
Oh yeah.
That and Russ looked cute doing it on TV. I think everybody else wanted to start
Interesting.
copying it after that. That's probably where that came from. I don't know. But I'm not doing much playing today, but it's just cool to talk about.
Oh yeah.
The Motown sound. It was just a unique thing that came out in that era there.
You know, I never watched the Emmy Awards, but you and I both love Law and Order SVU. Has that ever won any awards for Emmys? It should.
It probably has.
It should. That's about one of the best shows ever on TV. It should win tons of Emmy Awards. I mean, I've never watched it. Oh yeah, they had a marathon. Oh yeah, yesterday again. Some of the newer episodes. Oh yeah. That's just one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's even talked about race relations. Well, it's talked about everything, really, under the sun that you can imagine. Do they still have new episodes of that or not?
They probably do.
Because I don't know if it's what night it's on or day or what, you know?
Well, on Ion TV, they just run them like almost 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah, the Law and Order, but I'm talking about Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, I'm talking about SVU. It's on Ion channel, but as far as any new ones, I think they still do new ones on NBC.
Yeah, because I know they have a marathon on Saturdays.
But I mean, on the Ion channel, they just run in like the earlier episodes of SVU like all day long.
Yeah, on Saturday. I didn't know they did that on other days of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check that out.
I think they do.
I gotta check that out just to make, because I know they do a Law and Order, but not SVU, because I know SVU is on Saturdays, you know.
No, I've seen it on Ion channel.
Yeah, on Saturday I have. I have, definitely on television on Saturdays, but I didn't know if they did it other days of the week besides just Saturday, because I know.
Well, they have like NCIS, I think, is on there too.
Oh yeah, I never cared for NCIS, it bored me.
And you know, just those detective shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some new remakes of some of the detective shows in the past, like Magnum PI.
Oh yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it is fun to watch as the original Tom Selleck version, but you know, because with the remakes they get really fancy, you know. But it's pretty good though. When you like to have a car like that, I wish I could drive a car like that car that Tom Selleck drove in that TV show. But where I'm going with this is like on the Ion channel, they just have pretty much all those detective shows and so on. And they got a lot of remakes on, I think it's CBS,
Oh, yeah.
Magnum Show, and a bunch of others and so on. A lot of new comedies out. So
I think if I were able to drive, I'd probably want to drive an Edsel. An Edsel.
okay.
If I were able to drive, which I'm not able to, but I'd probably drive like an eccentric car, like an Edsel or something. I don't even know if they make Edsels anymore.
I don't know. That I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Some car that's really eccentric.
This is a cool song to me.
Call Me, yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a short version of it. When I was a little boy, I used to watch Mel Torme when I was growing up, and he used to always sing that song on TV, and it was pretty cool.
They even, I think, sang that on the Lawrence Welk show. Call
I'm
Me.
sure
Yeah, they did.
I'm sure they did. It was a very, very popular song. I played it all the time on the radio when I was a little boy. I think my parents used to listen to that song a lot. That's probably why I got familiar with it. So I just grew up.
Yeah, I think I've heard it on the Lawrence Welk show.
Yeah, I think they have sang that on the Lawrence Welk show. Oh, excuse me. This food is very good. What I did was I got the long Subway and I had them cut it in half. It saved money than getting those like $5 or $6 sandwiches like I got last time. Because it's pretty much the same size, you know, when you cut it in half. So enjoy yourself. I'm gonna eat some of these chips here.
Yeah, spinning around in the dryer, spinning around all day. Speaking of that, I got to do laundry today, so I get to talk to the washer and the dryer.
Mm-hmm.
Won't that be fascinating? Inside. I've heard that on easy listening.
Yeah.
The girl from Impamina?
Yeah.
I've heard that. I heard that a few days. Yep, yesterday or day before on easy listening. Yep. Very nice song. Oh yes.
Yeah.
The spinning dryer. We've got to spin in the dryer.
Yeah.
In the washing machine and spin in the spinning dryer. We've got to go and spin around all day. Isn't that fascinating?
Mm-hmm. Go for Ipaneva. But you know, I think Diana Ross is. I don't think she lives in the U.S. anymore. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Didn't she marry some guy from Switzerland or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
No. Well, anyway, yeah, God bless this lady. She just left the world some fun music,
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. And I want to say her music just stayed current. It's relatable. Her early works and the later stuff too. You know. So on. I did see Lady Gaga win an award. Music awards.
Yeah.
They did a remake of some sort of a love story or something, I understand.
But how does Lady Gaga, is it another Lady Gaga? She looks so young. I thought Lady Gaga was from the 60s.
Oh, no. Lady Gaga is only about 30-something years old.
Maybe I keep thinking of Zsa Zsa Gabor on Gilligan's
Yeah, that's
Island.
probably who you're thinking of. No, Lady Gaga is the blonde-haired lady singer.
Yeah.
Quite the singer, too. She comes from a musical family, actually.
Oh.
That's probably why she can sing so well. I mean, I know a lot of these young people, you know, they have to sing all that rock music and scream. But when they're singing, they sound really good.
Yeah.
In fact, Lady Gaga, she was doing a series of songs with Tony Bennett. And they said on the world news that when they started collaborating, the sales just soared. Well, I think Tony Bennett had an awful lot to do with that.
Oh yeah.
And that's not to take anything away from Lady Gaga, you know. But she just won an award. She won, I think it was an Academy Award.
She did. Because I saw the whole thing.
And she
For the
also
most part,
sang,
yeah.
I think, didn't she sing a song from that film?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah.
I think it was a Barbra Streisand movie or something, but they just did a remake or something like that. And she did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I saw almost the whole thing because I wanted to see, are my science fiction films from last year going to win anything? And they didn't.
Yeah. I'm really happy for Lady Gaga, though. She's probably the nicest person you would ever want to meet. I mean, you know, I think that Hollywood kind of portrays this lady in a kind of a bad way sometimes. And she's probably a real sweetie, you know, just a real sweetheart. You and I will probably never meet Lady Gaga, but she's probably...
I would never want to get into the Hollywood scene with its pretensions.
Well, no, I mean,
and
like, if she were to come to Montana, which is probably not likely, and you got to meet her and, say, get a hot dog or something, it would probably be pretty cool. She is probably the nicest person.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think Hollywood just gives her a bad rap, you know.
I've never even heard hardly of anything of Lady Gaga, you know.
Well, she's more of a concert singer, I believe, and she's broken into acting and stuff like that, and she did get that award, so, you know, good for her. But,
there was an easy listening song, and it was stuck in my head about a couple of years ago, and I loved it. Lady Godiva.
That was a different performer, I believe.
Lady Godiva.
I believe that was a different performer.
The song went something... And a beautiful, it was easy instrumental, easy leaning, and then the end chorus was like something gives me goosebumps just thinking about because it's such a beautiful instrumental. You think of sunshine and flowers and trees, but the song was called Lady Godiva. Very nice, you know. Or something to that.
Yeah, I guess
Just beautiful. I can't do it, you know, but you'd have to look it up. Lady Godiva, the song, it's beautiful.
Yeah. You know, this has gone by so quickly. We got about 5 minutes left.
Whoa.
Yeah, amazing. So,
5 minutes.
Yeah, about 5 minutes left is all we got.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this show just goes by so quickly.
It does.
Once we start doing, and I think eating too might
Oh yeah.
speed up the process there. So,
Mhm.
but thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun, and
Oh,
this is
certainly.
gonna be cool. Being on the backdrop of Diana Ross concert. I wish we could play their music for real, but that's just
Yeah.
not possible.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Boy, that YouTube robot would get you real fast.
Oh yeah.
And block you. So that's just the way it is. You got any final words you want to say?
Let's see. There were these two washing machines, and they saw a hat in their way. One said to the other, "Is that in your way?" And the other said, "No, it's in your way, and it's blocking my view." Ha! Hilarious. Yeah.
I think when I set everything out, I'm gonna finish my sandwich and I'll make you a copy of it.
All right. Thanks.
That show we did, WrestleMania, that was a hit.
Really?
Yeah, it was a real hit.
You know, I never got a copy of that.
All right, we'll fix that. I'll make it.
Oh, thanks.
I'll make a copy today.
Cause that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, that turned out to be one of the funniest cafes I think I've ever done.
Really cool.
In
Yeah.
all the years that
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been doing this show.
Yeah.
And it was good for Maddie and
Oh yeah.
Tiffany, the two guests.
Oh yes. Yes, indeed.
They got a kick out of that, and I'm sure the people at Opportunity were
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
watching that too. So, and I told Lori just this morning that was good for, people that may have some particular health challenges
Oh yeah.
to be on a show like this and just let them have fun. I just,
Definitely.
I just think it's
Definitely.
encouraging. It's a lot of fun. Well, I guess that's it. I'm glad we got to see Diana Ross in concert.
Yeah.
I'll bet you if you were to see her for real, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it would.
And the odds of her coming to Missoula, probably not likely.
Yeah.
But this is the next best thing,
Oh yeah.
You and I can hang out at the cafe and use our imagination.
Oh yeah.
Hang out with Diana Ross and the Supremes,
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I am Asaph Adonai, your host, and affectionately on my left, our aging rocker Emmett, and we're with the lovely Diana Ross and the Supremes. That's pretty cool. So thanks for watching. Until our next show, Maranatha. Always freeze it on that.
Yep.
Well, make yourself at home. Don't move until I shut everything down. Well, you might as well come take a look and see what it's going to look like on TV, because that is not very clear, as you know. I always say it's just a guide,
Uh-huh.